Facebook, welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose. With me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide, and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. This evening, I am going to be working on the board here, so I've got the phone turned around so that you can actually see the board without it being reversed. If I have the phone turned, all that being said is I can't see who's showing up, but hello, and I can't see your comments, questions this evening. But this is something I've been wanting to get out, and I hope you guys have had a fantastic Saturday. Tonight, the Sooners play Alabama, so getting ready for a big old football game. And go Sooners, rooting for Oklahoma boys. So the title of tonight's episode is This Principle Will Give You Power. Parenting power. And that's exactly what it will do. I feel like all parents could use a little extra parenting power. So this principle, I've been teaching this for some time now. It's called the A to Z principle. And I actually would encourage you to grab a piece of paper real quick and write this down because I want you to see how it works. So it starts over here with A and comes all the way over here to Z. So you got, it's just like the alphabet, right? You got A all the way to Z. Okay, so you got that right there. So now I'm going to switch over to my red pen because over here we have X and Y. And I'm also going to cover that with Z. But what I'm also going to do over here is I'm going to write outcome. Right? That's the outcome. Follow me? Over here is what I want you to understand is this is process. Right? So process dictates outcome. Very important. Now, how do you get to Z? If you start with A, how do you get to Z? You have to go through the alphabet, right? You have to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Remember the alphabet, right? I never do all of those. Here's the beauty of the principle. Any behavior that you deal with, doesn't matter what the behavior is, any negative, challenging behavior that you're dealing with, this principle is going to give you power. And the power it's going to give you is the power to analyze, investigate, and dissect how the behavior manifests itself. The behaviors set over here. Behaviors. X, Y, Z. That's where all your behaviors are at. So all behaviors are a part of an outcome. An outcome is the end product of a process. You can't get to an outcome without following a process. You follow me, right? So remember, here in behaviors and outcome, X, Y, and Z. Anytime you see a challenging behavior with your child, anytime you're facing a challenging behavior, lying, stealing, defiance, aggression, etc., etc. I think I'm enjoying saying that word. Etc. etc. Did you ever see that movie, that weird movie about the guy with the personality disorders? And he used to flip into this one personality. He'd say, etc., etc. It's really funny. Anyway, all behaviors, X, Y, and Z. Here's the way the model works. The principle works. All of these behaviors happen. You're already dealing with these behaviors. These behaviors are already outcomes. But what you're doing and where you're focused is in the wrong place. Where you're focused is on X, Y, and Z. See, when the behavior shows up, that's what your brain is wanting to focus on. It's wanting to focus on X, Y, and Z because that's the behavior. But what you're not doing is you're not challenging yourself to investigate the process that leads to the outcome. Because just as all of these, just as all of X, Y, and Z and the outcome are connected to behaviors, the process is where relationships at. Okay? So your child misbehaves. I'm going to give you oh my gosh, this is simple. It's beautiful. Your child misbehaves. The next time you have to, the next time, before the next time happens, I want you to take the misbehavior and I want you to ask yourself, what could I have done differently at A? Maybe A is last night. Maybe B is dinner time. Maybe C is bath time. Maybe D is bedtime routine. Maybe E is sleep through the night. Maybe F is wake up routine. Maybe G is breakfast. Maybe H is transition to school. Or if you're on Christmas holiday, maybe H is child's routine in the morning once they wake up. Maybe J is while the child's at school. Maybe that was J, or I. Maybe J is when child comes home from school or child on the way home from school. And then you see where I'm going? All along the way, you have the ability to change the outcome, which is the behavior. What if L is when you get home? What if M is the time between you getting home and dinner time? What if N is dinner time? You see how we all of a sudden we circle back to the A, B, C, D, E, F, G? It's like we make a loop. So what's really in essence happening is when we focus on behaviors, X, Y, and Z, and outcome, we're actually creating a negative feedback loop. You follow me? If you will take the time and you will ask yourself, what could I have done differently at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and then you start doing that. You actually make an effort, and you don't have to change all of them. Just take one moment. Take one moment in the process, one moment in the relationship, and do something different. Make a small tweak, and then measure and see if it influences the behaviors. Just make one tweak. Maybe you make 2, maybe you make 3, maybe you make 4, maybe you make 5 tweaks all around the process. And guess what? It's going to happen. It's going to influence the behaviors and the outcome. It's a principle. It has to work. It's unmoving. It will work every single time. You just have to invest the time in the process and stop being so outcome focused. You're going to have a breakthrough when you do this. And then when you start doing this, when you start investing the time in the process to dictate the outcome, then actually what you start doing is you start creating a counter loop, which is a positive feedback loop. And what have I taught you about positive feedback loops? A negative feedback loop cannot grow in the midst of a positive. A positive feedback loop has the ability to contain a negative one and then ultimately diminish it. But you just have to be able to keep yourself regulated enough to focus on the process, to maintain the relationship, to have an effect on the outcome, which is ultimately the behavior. So I've been needing to get that out. Remember, in any situation, we always have two choices. We can continue to react and be overwhelmed by the behaviors we're dealing with. We can focus on the outcomes. We can focus on the negative behaviors, be reactive and stressed out and scared and overwhelmed, or we can stop. We can take 3 to 10 deep breaths. We can slow down. We can investigate, and we can analyze, and we can take responsibility, and we can become more conscious, and we can have faith, and we can do something different, and we can affect the process, maintain the relationship, secure a positive feedback loop, and ultimately impact the behaviors and the outcomes. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Big Papa loves you, and we'll see you tomorrow.